Let's turn our attention now to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, where the details of the 2025 All Africa Music Awards was unveiled. Of course, Nigeria got the hosting rights for that year, and all of those details are available on our website on channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelstv. The calendar unveiling event, however, also hosted a music conference with some of the top African artists join other music industry players to discuss and highlight current challenges for the growth of African music. Kenyan singer Nikita, Ghanaian dancehall king Stonebwoy, Eddie Kenzo from Uganda, and South African singer Makadzi all chip in their experience and thoughts on how African music can grow to the next level. Take a listen.
As artists, one of the main things we really do struggle with is adequate legal representation and general legal literacy. So a lot of artists, as they come up, we are lacking mentorship and we're lacking guidance in terms of the kind of contracts that we need to sign, because artists do emerge and kind of disappear because of signing of these, I guess, bad deals in quotes, and just not knowing how to navigate their way around that. And unfortunately, you find that, since there's so many artists emerging, we are actually lacking proper managerial representation, and so even the managers do not seem to actually really know what to do in those cases. And unfortunately, depending on what region you are in Africa, IP law is also something that we are still trying to learn and understand on a daily. So I guess now that we're speaking to the AU, one of the things that I think would be appropriate is to try and standardize copyright and intellectual property laws across Africa.
We have so many of our friends who would forget where they're coming from easily. And sometimes you can't blame them too much, because who are their owners? Who owns them? Do they own themselves? Are they owned by the foreigners? You know what I'm saying? In as much as we need to create that connectivity to be able to operate globally, many of those monies are not going to come back here, because when it comes to the royalties and publishing and etc., that is mostly owned by them, because you would have collected advances and etc. Then you would maybe be making some good food off of the performances. But then that's where you want to showcase your, the arts, the showbiz comes in that manner. I want to say that should Africa own us, then the money remains here. Which would be that when we have the alternatives for the Spotify's, should we have let's say AFRIMA platform that we can distribute through? I would sign on to that ASAP, because I know that we will now be talking about what currency regime we're going to be using on that platform now. Because see, Africa already has 20 million, not literally. Ghana has CBs, Ethiopia has that. So what currency regime are we going to be using to deal in that one already? So I think that there are a lot of problems that emanate from why we don't own us. And of course, people don't see, African government and systems don't see music as, they see it as if it belongs to reference.
So for me, I feel like the most important thing, I think maybe when it comes to education as well, they must prioritize music in each and every grades, because not everyone can be a lawyer. Some of us, we just go to school to just get educated, you understand? But when you find out that you have no any knowledge about the music, you just do music because you are talented. You end up not knowing how are you going to get revenue when you become a superstar, because of course you're doing it because you're talented. So I feel like for me, the most important thing is education. It doesn't matter whether it's university or you are going to a music school, but it must just be a must for us to get educated. Because as for me, if I can tell you that I started knowing that music have royalties and I can get my money for streaming 2 years back, but I've been in the industry for 15 years. It's gonna be a shock, but I didn't know anything because I have to get this knowledge from the street. And for me, let me just say I'm lucky because I got it on my peak. So imagine someone who's getting it when they're out of fashion, no one is listening to music, meaning there are other people that are repeat them off.